Shalom, shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachacha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutation to all the Akim out there pushing His word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom. I don't really got a title for this lesson. I'm just going to call it various topics. Shalakia. Let me put this. There you go.
It's about, and what do you think that it means?
But I got a couple videos I want to play before I get to the scriptures. You know, this one right here being from the brother with the channel GMS Watchman. You know, he's gonna go into, you know, this pretty much this whole famine thing that's going on. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it.
Well, very simple, Tucker. What this is about is the Dutch government stealing our farmers' land. And they're doing this under the guise of a made-up nitrogen crisis. And that is basically going to put most of these farmers completely out of business. And thankfully, the Dutch farmers aren't having it. So they're going out on the streets, they're blocking distribution centers, they've blocked the high roads, they are fighting back. And they're right to do so. This is their life's work. They're really at their wits' end. They're devastated by what the government is doing. And, well, it's very clear that the government is not doing this because of a nitrogen crisis. They're doing this because they want these farmers' land, and they want it to house new immigrants. They also want it because the farmers are obviously standing in their way of the great reset plans that they have for us. So, yeah, farmers are hardworking, God-fearing, and especially self-sufficient people that are just standing in the way of their globalist agenda. And it's driving a lot of these farmers even to something like suicide. So, really, there's only one term that we can use for the things that our government under Premier Mark Rutte is doing right now, and that is communism.
So messing with a food supply tends to cause food crises and then famines. You're seeing this in the developing world thanks to climate activism and the war in Ukraine. Are normal Dutch citizens who aren't farmers worried about what happens when you shut the farms down?
Absolutely, they understand it. No farmers, no food. And that's why the farmers have blocked these distribution centers, because within a matter of a couple of hours, we saw that the supermarkets were empty. And ordinary citizens understand this. The problem is that the state doesn't seem to understand this, or it's what they want. And the police have responded in an incredibly violent way. So as you guys have seen now, they have even shot at a 16-year-old boy. These are not things that you should see in free Western countries, especially not targeted towards peaceful protesters, but it's happening. And not just the Dutch people, everyone around the world, and especially you in America, should be supporting our Dutch farmers because, well, this could be happening to you. It's actually the very reason why I'm wearing this handkerchief right now. It's become the symbol of these farmers' resistance, and they're doing it so courageously, and they have the manpower to do it, so they really deserve your full support.
We should be worried about the big things, and the food supply is the biggest thing. So I appreciate that explanation, even if our doing it's about, and what do you think that it means?
All right, so as you can see, man, Esau society is collapsing, man. You know, and this is all, you know, this whole famine is all planned out. They're trying to wipe out a lot of the population. They're trying to starve people out, you know. Esau has this big this great reset plan, and it involves wiping out a majority of the population here on Earth, right? And then eventually, you know, getting everybody, you know, with that MOTB, right? Them having full control, putting you on a grid where they can monitor and watch everything you do. Let me continue on because there's another video I want to bring out. Which one is it? I think it's this one right here.
This journalist, former trader at Goldman Sachs. Trish, we saw this. It's so easy to go, oh, it's over in Europe, who cares? But the very same kind of challenges the farmers are facing over there, farmers here are facing, they go on strike here, we got big problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive ripple effect, really. And you look at food prices, Leland, they've already been skyrocketing. And I don't see it getting any better. I mean, the Fed is going to try and manage this. But the truth is, when you
She's right. It ain't gonna get no better. America, I mean not America, but Esau society is collapsing. This whole westernized society is falling, man. It's crumbling. Even though it might be so-called planned, it's all the Most High's will, man. The Most High is making this kingdom fall, this queendom fall, right? It's done. It's through. You know, Esau's uh 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 goal is all in vain because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah is on his way, man. And we know this. We hear this in the scriptures, right? Now, before I continue on with this video, I'm actually going to get this precept. I'm going to go to Second Ezra 15. I mean, Salakia. Second Ezra 9. I'm going to start at 1. Stupid ass shit. God damn. Anyway, Salakia for that. Fucking stupid ass ad. This is our Second Ezra 9 and 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right, and that's what we're doing, man. We're measuring the time. We're we're linking up the news with biblical prophecy, right? Things that's happening. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and we're seeing that, man, uproars of the people, right? Especially with this whole farm thing over there in Europe, they're going crazy, man. Blocking highways, stopping traffic from flowing, stopping business to continue, stopping the flow of business. You know, stopping uh uh these supply trucks to go to these supermarkets to supply them, right? You know, these things is happening, man, and it's coming here to America soon. You know, we're slowly starting to see, you know, like what's his name, Bill Gates, Bill Gates of hell. You know, this dude over here buying all kinds of land. You know, all kinds of farmland. We know he ain't gonna use that. He ain't gonna use that for good. He's gonna use that to starve people out. He ain't gonna grow no crops. This whole famine is man-made. It's man-made. And soon y'all chicks are gonna start realizing that what the prophet's been saying is true. Y'all soon gonna realize the fear of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Once y'all don't got no food in your belly, you know, once y'all go 2 or 3 days without eating, once you start seeing these damn people start rioting, breaking into your houses, taking your food, you know, then you're gonna know. Like it says in the scriptures, then my people will be willing. You know, then shall they seek me early. But what they say shall not find me. They shall not find me. Why? Because of the time when y'all had the opportunity to seek the Most High, y'all decided not to. The time when y'all had to repent, y'all decided not to. So all this is happening, what? For the wicked. Y'all wicked jakes. You know, Esau, the heathen. All these things that's taking place is for the wicked. You know, the elect are going to be delivered. Those are the righteous. They're going to be delivered. They're going to be saved. They're going to be taken care of in these times of famine, these times of trouble. But anyway, let me continue on. Second Ezra 9 and verse 3 says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and like I said, we're seeing that, man. All in every, just about in every single country, man, we're seeing uproars of the people. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Right, this place had a beginning. America has a beginning, and now it's at its end. Right, you know, better are the end is the end of a thing than the beginning of it. Especially here in America, this bitter ass country, man. You know, we love seeing this Esau system, Esau's society fall. You know, Kahla Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah for allowing us to see this. You know, for what he did to our people, for how he mocks the Most High, all the blasphemy he pushes out there. He deserves all this and more. The destruction that's coming to him. Right? So now let me get... Actually, let's go back to the video. Let's continue on with the video.
You really look at the current inflation numbers, and I'm including food and energy in these numbers, they're actually worse than anybody thinks. And the reason for that is that they changed the metrics way back in 1983. They took out housing when they looked at inflation. And so, in fact, I suspect inflation is currently much closer to the 16% range than the 8.6% we've heard. And then you factor in strikes and difficulty with whatever's going on overseas with farming. It has a ripple effect through the global economy. It means food prices are going even higher. Overall inflation is even higher, and you ain't seen nothing yet, as they say.
Yeah, and John Boyd, one of the farmers that we've talked to, is head of the Black Farmers Association, fourth generation here in America. This is what he had to say just a couple of days ago.
The administration hasn't made farming, in this case, the American farmer, a priority. And when you don't take care of American farmers, you're going to have a shortage in the supply chain. And what that's going to happen is empty store shelves. Restaurant prices are going to go through the roof because they won't be able to get the goods and services that they've been getting.
I don't want to make this too political, but you think about what the farmers in Europe are angry about, which is basically the European governments have the boot on the neck of farmers, and then you think about what's happening here with diesel prices and fertilizer prices for American farmers. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is going to affect everyone. I mean, if a farmer has to pay more because diesel prices are going up in order to get his crop out, that's just the reality of it. He's going to have to charge more. And so when he charges more, the restaurant owner has to charge more. And this is just the way the world works. This is how inflation gets so embedded into an economy. And the danger is you don't have enough growth to keep up with that inflation. And consequently, you get what's known as stagflation, which is exactly what we saw in the 1970s. So it's sort of a return to those times in ways that I think are really, really troubling. And again, you don't have to point the finger necessarily at the administration and say it's all their fault. I think it's partly their fault. They could have, should have done things to help mitigate this by being maybe more responsive to the traditional energy industry. But you could also say, look, you got a Federal Reserve that's printed a ton of money and just didn't stop. And then you got Congress all in that put $1.9 trillion worth of stimulus in there. And the reality is you combine all those things together and it's having a really big effect on everyday Americans, from farmers to secretaries to you name it, truck drivers. Everyone is affected, Leland.
Right. Well, yeah, and farmers though are the way we eat, so it's a little higher level. I'm thinking though from a regulation standpoint, and that's what's happening in Europe is that it's not that the farmers are saying, hey, things are going to cost more. It's hey, we're not going to grow things anymore because of these new regulations. Slash emissions to curb environmental damage, so big restrictions on nitrogen oxide and ammonia from farms. So farmers say, hey, I can't make money. I can't even have livestock. I've got to use less fertilizer. Therefore, I have to have fewer cows per acre, on and on and on. I can't make money. I'm done and quitting. That's their livelihoods. Have you seen any realization yet in the American administration that there are certain priorities that may have to take a back seat to allowing people to eat and keeping costs down?
I haven't seen a focus on that. I haven't. And I look at sort of the green energy initiative, which, by the way, I don't have a problem with. I'm all for the solar panels and the EVs. Go for it. Guys, have a field day. We need all the energy we can get. But I don't see a willingness to recognize that in the interim, it's going to be very, very painful. And so I use that as an example. Will we see some kind of response on farmers? I don't think so, only because I don't think we've seen enough response just in general in terms of the overall challenges we're facing in our economy because of the energy issues. So it's like there's a disconnect. I don't think they get it, or the left hand's not talking to the right hand, Leland. They're not thinking through all the implications of stuff.
The left hand and the right hand in American government is definitely not talking to each other. Haven't for a while. Trish, it's good to see you. Thank you.
Hey, good to see you too.
This journal.
All right, that's it on that. You know, so that as you saw in that video, man. You know, everybody's getting real. All the people, at least as far as these farmers, you know, people in general, man, they're getting very, what's the word for it? Impatient, I guess you can say. You know, they're getting very impatient. They're getting very frustrated at the government for their, especially with Esau's government, with their bullshit ideas, these crazy ass, you know, laws that they're trying to implement that makes no sense. You know, all under the guise of, you know, make the earth more green again, you know, heal the earth. Whenever Esau, you were the one that was destroying the earth. You're the one that put the earth in its state that it's in right now. And now you're thinking that, oh, by doing this, you're gonna, you know, go back and fix the earth. Nah, it's through for you, man. The only way this earth is gonna be fixed back is if the righteous are put back in authority. Right? As it says in let me get that actually. It's Proverbs. Well, let me get this first. In Proverbs 29 and verse 2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right? And you see the people mourning right now, man. Everybody's upset. Everybody's pissed off. You know, even Esau's going up against, you know, the elite. Talking shit about the elite. Talking shit about their kings, their princes, you know, which is these governors, their presidents. They're talking shit about them. Because they know what they're doing is bullshit. You know, the elite don't give a shit about your, you know, your average peon Edomite. Right? Your everyday Edomite. They don't give a shit about them. They're going to let them all die too. Like it says in the scriptures, he who is not good unto himself, who will he be good to? Roughly paraphrasing. Right? But even the earth, you know, the earth is even in mourning, man. Let me see if I can find that. Let me start at verse 5. It says, Isaiah 14 and 5, it says, Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Right? And you see, Esau's control, being broken. Everybody's rebelling against this damn man. Against this wicked man. Right? It says he who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke. And he's continuing to do so. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Right? Because in the kingdom, man, Esau is going to be persecuted, and there's going to be no one that's going to, step in our way and try to stop us and hinder us from laying our hands on Esau. Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. The whole earth is going to be at rest, man. Everybody in it. Verse 8, yea, the first trees rejoice at thee. Even the trees, man, they're going to be happy. Because believe it or not, man, the trees, the plants, it's all living, man. The living creatures. It says, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. By feller, meaning, someone who cuts down trees. And you see Esau, man, destroying the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. I think it's like over 1,000 acres, a year gets burned down. So this man is constantly destroying the earth, and now he's, trying to use this, bringing forth these laws and all these, legislative acts, trying to reduce the carbon footprint, trying to heal the earth when he's the one that's constantly destroying it with his oil spills, with his pollution, all these damn masks that's polluting the whole earth. Bunch of nonsense. All his damn companies, all these industries that pollute, cause a high amount of pollution in the air. Him with his chemtrails. Burning down, like I said, the Amazon forest. He's the one in charge of this. He's the one that's doing this. That's what the scriptures say, man. Never trust thine enemy. Because as iron rusts, so does his wickedness. That wickedness is never gonna. He's never gonna stop being wicked, man. So let me get this. Proverbs 29 and verse 7, it says, the righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. The wicked. Who's the wicked? Esau, man. Especially these elite families of Esau. They do not give a rat's ass about Jake, especially Jake. Don't give a shit about Jake. They want to see y'all exterminated. But they do not give a shit even about their own kind, man, their own people. These average Edomites, they do not give a damn. It only makes sense to grow crops, so you can feed, continue to feed, continue to grow. It only makes sense. But Esau got this backwards mindset that, we gotta cut emissions, we gotta, or like for the gardening, what was it? I forgot what they said. Nitrogen or some shit like that. You gotta cut emissions of nitrogen. You gotta start lowering the footprint of farming and all this and that. So these people, they're going crazy. They know this is nonsense. They know it don't make no sense. And soon we're gonna see this famine take place. You got that whole war with Russia and Ukraine. So Ukraine supposedly You know, supplies a lot of grain over here. You know, and now Russia has sanctions on them, so they ain't really trade. They ain't trading with the United States, and they supply a lot of wheat and all that over here too. So soon we're gonna start seeing prices skyrocket and eventually a famine. Because these shelves that are at your local grocery stores, man, that only lasts 2 days, 2 to 3 days, and it's gone. So imagine after those 2 or 3 days of people ransacking, you know, these stores, everything will be stripped out from the shelves. That little bit of food, people are gonna start going crazy, man. That's whenever people are gonna start invading other people's houses for lack of bread. Let me get Second Ezra's 15. Let me see, where should I start? I'm gonna start at 16. It says, Second Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And that's happening right now, man. They're not regarding their kings or princes. You know, soon enough, there's gonna be sedition. You know, they're gonna start invading each other's houses, man. So they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's whenever they're going to implement that martial law. For because of the pride of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of lack of bread, and for great tribulation. You see? All that is coming here, man. That's going to happen on all over the globe. And that's what this elite want. You know, what did Klaus Schwab said? He says, prepare for a more violent world. That's their plan, is to, you know, weed out the weak, man. Reduce the population of the earth. Reduce that carbon footprint. Right? Starve out the people. Prepare for that great reset. You know, and now that Georgia Guidestone is destroyed, you know, which, you know, we believe the Most High is one destroyed it. You know, showing that their whole plan is gonna fail. It's gonna fall. The Most High is gonna take it down. They're not gonna be able to fulfill their enterprise, right? Now let me get you. I'm gonna get y'all to watch another video. I believe it's this one.
One pipeline shutdown has left.
No, not that one. This one.
Nation of Sri Lanka over the weekend. It came after thousands of protesters stormed the presidential residence over their country's shortages of fuel, food, and medicine. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer has the remarkable video and pictures of what was a mostly peaceful revolution.
Tens of thousands of Sri Lankans started their protest at the presidential headquarters over the weekend. But when they heard the president had fled, they surged into his residence and marveled. In a country where the minimum wage is just over $1 a day, people wanted to look at this opulence and see how it felt, right down to a dip in the presidential pool. But overnight, the mood had been ugly when police fired tear gas at crowds who'd torched the Prime Minister's house, furious with corruption and incompetence that's left the economy in tatters and Sri Lankans short of fuel and food.
Well, that's enough of that. Just going to show you that, a lot of these countries, man, they're going to start, the people of these countries are going to stop regarding their kings and princes, man. It's going to come to the point where they're going to start, persecuting, these people, persecuting their governors, their mayors, their even the presidents, the people in the Senate. They're going to start persecuting them. Because they're going to feel betrayed. The people are going to feel betrayed. They're going to blame them for everything that's going on. They're going to blame them for all these mass deaths, for the starvation, for the poor management of the country, for the downfall of their country, right? So they're going to let loose, man. That's coming. All that's coming. And we're seeing it, we're seeing it across many countries. So how is it so far-fetched for it to come here in America? We see a slow process, but it's actually quick. It's happening pretty quick at a pretty rapid pace. The Most High said He's gonna speed up the time, right? For the elect's sake. So let me play this one last video.
One pipeline shutdown has left Europe on the edge. It is the biggest single pipeline carrying Russian gas to Germany. So why has the pipeline been shut down? Annual maintenance. Any other year, and Europe would not even pay attention to this, but this year it is especially jittery. Russia is the world's largest producer of natural gas and the second top producer of crude oil. Over the years, Europe's energy reliance on Russia has become a crucial shield for Vladimir Putin. So they are worried. This annual maintenance may extend into a temporary stop. On your screen is the Nord Stream pipeline. The Nord Stream 1 was completed in 2011. It runs from Vyborg in Leningrad to Lubmin in Germany. The Nord Stream 1 pipeline transports 55 billion cubic meters of gas annually. To put that in perspective, Europe requires more than 100 billion cubic meters of gas each year. So clearly, Nord Stream 1 makes up for a significant amount of that supply. This gas is used for heating homes, factories and offices, especially in the harsh, long European winters. It is also used for power generation across the continent. Last month, Russia cut flows to 40% of the pipeline's total capacity. The reason was delayed return of equipment. This maintenance is supposed to last till the 21st of July, but if the pipeline remains shut after that, it could be detrimental. In Western Europe, Russia is its largest single supplier of gas. On your screen are all the pipelines linking Europe and Russia. So if Moscow turns off the tap for Nord Stream 1, it means trouble for Europe. It could lead to absolute chaos across.
You hear that? Absolute chaos, man, throughout Europe. So that's another thing that's coming, man. This is building up to be the perfect storm, and this is the time that's coming that the Most High said that's going to be time like no other, man. Jacob's trouble, man. You got the MOTB, coming out already. What's it called? The whole thing with Elon Musk, the shit on top of the head, the Neuralink. All this, all at once, building up. Tensions. You got World War III tension happening. Man, everything all at once. This is the end. This is what the Most High has been speaking, that we've been speaking about. That the Most High has His prophets write about in the scriptures, man. right?
the continent. Energy costs would skyrocket. Millions would be dealing with power outages. The big question is, can
Yeah, and if that happens, like you said, millions are gonna be without power. Millions. You don't think they're gonna start revolting? They're gonna start rioting? Gonna start, you know, finding out who's in charge of this shit? They're gonna start taking action. I mean, it's just a matter of time, man. Just a matter of time.
Europe find a replacement? In the current situation, it's highly unlikely. It will be very hard to substitute Russian gas. Europe could import more liquefied natural gas from the US and ramp up its other energy resources. But doing so will not be quick nor easy. If Russia cuts gas...
Yeah, well, anyway, that's enough of that. But, and all this is going on because the United States decided, we're gonna cut off Russia, and no one else should do business with Russia. If y'all do business with Russia, we're gonna cut y'all off too, right? So all this is going on because of that, and eventually, these European countries, they're gonna need gas. You're gonna see, riots, revolts, and all this stuff going on. So if Salaki, I lost my train of thought. But so once all this starts taking place, the lack of gas, the lack of food, all this all at once, all these European countries are gonna say the hell with America. Because even America, man, they're, like I said, they're cutting back on food, on farming, right? They're not even drilling. America has oil, but they're not even drilling. So how are they going to supply another country when they can't even supply themselves? They're not even trying to supply themselves. This is all, man, this whole famine, this whole energy crisis is all man-made. Right? And all this is going on because Esau wants to wipe out a lot of the population of the earth. And now these countries over there in Europe, they're going to start revolting against America. They're going to turn their back to America. Let me get this. Obadiah 1:7. And that's why a lot of these countries, man, they're going to start, separating themselves from her. They're going to start hating the whore, hating America, and they go shoot missiles on her. Obadiah 1:7 says, all the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. You see? And we're not seeing that yet, but hey, we know this is going to happen. We know that these countries are going to have enough of America's bullshit that they're going to end up fighting against her. And America's not even going to see it. They're going to be like, oh shit, I didn't know. They're going to be surprised. But the scriptures is letting us know. The Most High is letting us know what is going to happen. We're seeing it happen. So now's the time to turn back to the Lord, man, because these times that's coming is going to be way worse than y'all ever imagined. Y'all think y'all had hard times before. Well, these times that's coming, it's going to make those times look like, a walk in the park. So anyway, this is all I had to say. I hope this lesson was edifying. I'm going to close it out by saying, Ka halayim la, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutation to all the Akim out there pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm going to say Shalom.